Okay, I'm back. Part two, Tina Turner. I'm gonna continue running my errands and talk. So, the next thing that I want to talk about, or continue talking about, is just why did Tina choose Ike? What did she need for herself? And I see where I took that into my own life, and I see where listening to people, and they just first of all, the human part of it. Ike had four sons, four black men, and he himself being a black man. Where does the empathy, sympathy, compassion, all that happen? Tina moved on with her life, and she chose Ike. And Ike was who he was. And she knew. She knew. So it's like, when you're ready to reframe, instead of just going with that whole trauma bonding thing, you get caught up in it, and then where's the opportunity to heal, and you don't have to heal. I mean, my sister was really great with this one, because it was like, if you want to heal now, then heal now, and if you don't want to heal now, then don't heal now, and it just put a whole different spin on it. A whole different spin. It was like, wow, okay, I have all the time in the world. Now, I have no idea if past lives are true for anyone else. And what I know about my past life experience via having a Akashic Records reading, which I know a great person for it. I actually know a great person for the Akashic Records, and then I also know a great person. You all probably know him and his lovely partner. His name is Q Reeves. You can find him here on YouTube, and his lovely partner Naya Now. So you can just Google that and find him. And as far as the Akashic Record reading, the one that I will stand behind as you getting, you just have to contact me, and I will give you her information. And so anyway, with that, it's like I have seen, and it's been helpful for me to see my past life, because I was hurting so much in this life from what I felt like I wasn't getting. And at that point, it was like, once I had that Akashic Record reading and I saw why my life was where it was at for now, it just really helped. What also helped was the cardology, and if you all follow Nina Dunham, and she's on Instagram, and her Instagram is diamonds with an S _8 EIGHT, and you all can just go Google hashtag PhDME in Instagram, and you can find my page, my IG page, and then you can see she's gonna be on it. So anyway, she has a clubhouse, and for me, the clubhouse was really great. I'm taking all the information that I've gotten from Clubhouse, plus attending the level 1 cardology class, and I'm taking that in, and I'm like using it for my life now, and using it to peel back those layers now. So I'm not on there as much as I was anymore. I'm like applying the things that I learned, and going forward with that. I'm not saying I won't jump back in, and I'm not sure what I'll do with it, because the the part that worked for me was that peel back of the layer. So then when she showed me that my card and my husband's card, I was experiencing it in a way that wasn't true to his card or my card. And so once I understood my card and his card, then it like set me free. And so once she said it was karma, I had already had a Akashic record reading, and the Akashic record was I was already told that in a meditation session that I was in. You know, I went into meditation while I was doing yoga, waiting for class to start, and I got this message, clear message. And then X amount of months later, the same message came through my Akashic record reading. And then months and months after that, it came through with cardology. So each piece, I was able to get it, you know, like really get it. Because it's one thing to get it and life keeps happening and you're like, this is BS, I'm not going to this and that, no one's going to take advantage of me, no one's going to use me, this and that, you know. And then it's another thing where you're like, wait, hold it. You know what your past is, and you know this is your karma. So it's like once I saw my other life, I call it past, it's not past, my other life, and I saw who I was in that other life, I was like, yeah, you girl. I was like, damn. Thank goodness my karma is only this. You know what I'm saying? It switched it 180. And now, now it's like walking out my karma in this life. In the beginning, I did have moments of struggle and things like that. And admittedly so, I did, the last weeks or so, hired a life coach because it was still some things that were, I can flip it this way, it'd be this. I can flip it this way, it'd be this. And I wanted to stop all that. I wanted to stop the circular thinking. I wanted to stop all that. I wanted to, that flip, where it can go either way. It's like, no, choose your path, Storm, and proceed forward. Stop being Lot's wife. Like, how many times are you going to turn into a pillar of salt? And it's like, do you want to go this way or not? Like the spirits are like, we're tired of you. Okay, they're not, but I'm just saying. They're not. You're not. Everyone's tired. You're tired. Everyone's tired. Like, pick your path. And so from that place, it was like, okay, stop the whining and the crying and the this and the that and feeling bad and sorry for myself and stuff like that. All those emotions, to me, were rightfully so. All of them were. However, at a point, it was like, do these emotions and this whining, crying, and feelings and this and that, does that get me to where my soul wants to go? And my soul is saying, we got places, come. We got places to go. We got things to do. We came here for this purpose. And you are not on purpose. Like, stop. Got that from my husband. Stop. When I be way out there, he be like, stop. Stop it. You're going out in the deep end. I'm going to have to come rescue your ass because you cannot mentally, spiritually, or emotionally get yourself out of the deep water that you're going into. So stop while you can still put your feet down and touch the bottom of the ocean that you're on, the singing, the low part of the ocean. And so, knowing all of those things, and that's what I'm adding to the energy of Tina Turner. It's like, if Tina Turner is still striking you from a trauma place, from a mundane energy frequency place, she died at 82. All that stuff happened to her when she was in her, shoot, she wasn't even 18 years old yet. So then when she finally left Ike and all that, I think she was maybe in her mid-30s or something. And she died at 82. So that's at least 50 years. At least 50. And I'm like, so you're still allowing, you see how that mundane frequency will just keep going and going. You know, as much as people want to breathe life into it, they can breathe life into it. You know, as much as they want to, it's still there, hanging out, enjoying itself because it's getting fed, it's getting what it needs, you know. And then now it's getting its breath of life is breathed into it again because people are bringing up their stories. Like, when did that stuff happen to you, and why haven't you moved past it? You know, you dressed it up and loved it and cared for it and nurtured it, took it out to meet all your friends and the people at your church and the people at your job and everything else. It has interrupted you from getting the life that you want, being with the man, the woman, the whoever that you want, all of that. And then now it comes again as an amen, you know, it comes again as an amen. It's like, okay, here we go. Tina Turner's died. Now bring up this. Why not bring up the other part? What was Tina trying to get for herself that she needed? Like, why? Like, the gift was hers. So why couldn't she have just left Flatbush, Tennessee, gone to wherever, and start singing, and then been discovered and whatever? That could have happened too. So it didn't happen. It didn't happen not because of Ike. It didn't happen because of Tina. Now, her husband, this is just another scenario. I'm just presenting it as a way to just open up and see and experience a different energy. Her first son's father, I believe, I know he was a band member. I just don't remember which instrument he played. And so at that point, she was pregnant, and he was asking her to go with him, and she basically said no. So he was in music. He had been in Ike's band. She was in music. Why couldn't they have gone off and he turned Tina, or into a star or whatever, in a beautiful, wonderful, loving way, or opposite of what Ike is? Why could not that have happened? And then why couldn't Tina at that point? She was getting recognized by other people and they wanted her to sing versus Ike, and Ike was in the background. Why not at that point didn't she just, leave early on and then just, have access to those people? I don't know. It's just another way of looking at it versus, something happened to Tina. Yeah, something happened to Tina. What happened to Tina is what she wanted to happen to her. And that's where the flare-up is going to come in. And since we don't know Tina, we don't know her children, we don't know Ike, we don't know any of the people around her, we don't know her mother, we don't know anyone, then take that energy and all and put it on yourself. Write out your own timeline with Tina's timeline and see where and why you did what you did, you stayed where you were, all these other kinds. Answer those questions for yourself and see where that leads you, because to me that's the true moment. It's like at any time when something externally seemingly provokes me, then that's my energy going external, standing in front of me and waving a hand. Hey, storm, quick. just throwing, hey girl, hey, we got work to do on ourselves. It's not the outside person. It's not, and it never was. It just never was. It's me willing to relinquish myself to whatever is outside versus do the work, which I feel is harder on myself. Like, it's easy. It was easy to be, upset, mad at my husband, whatever. I could say a million things, just like he could say a million things about me. However, the harder thing for me was to stop and what part was mine. Not that everything he said or everything I was experiencing or anything like that was something for me. However, the part that hit me, look at it. Like, okay, you know what? I'm going to take this into my meditation and I'm going to look at it and I'm going to see if this is mine. And if it's mine, I only recognize it that it's mine because I'm ready to heal, change, grow, let that go. I'm ready. And so that's why it presented itself to me. And of course, who is it going to present itself to me through? I mean, who do you have around you? So it's going to come through them. It's not them. It's going to come through them. And that's where releasing that person from whatever idea of what they did and said to you, you release them. And it's a thankful, grateful experience because you are able to see that, hey, I have more of me that I want to experience. And I'm only going to do that if I'm not in my way and if I can see where I'm going and if I can stay on my path. And it's impossible for me to stay on my path if every time something comes, my head is on a swivel and I'm running here, there. You look up and 10 years are gone, 20 years are gone, 30 years are gone, 40 years are gone, 50 years are gone. And another thing, let me throw in, it doesn't matter how long you're celibate. If you don't heal and get a hold of whatever caused you to pick that last person that you're calling all those names, you're going to pick another one, the same one in a different meat suit. That's all you're going to do. Nothing's going to change. And so at that point, sitting in hibernation and all these other kind of things like that, and not, it's okay to do that. It's just that you still have to do the work. You don't come out of a celibate situation more knowledgeable. You don't come out of isolating yourself with the monks up in the mountains. You don't do that. You have to interact with people and you have to experience yourself and them. And from there, you're able to make the choice of yourself. You're able to choose yourself. Like I noticed about myself in this last part, I had my session with my life coach on Wednesday, and I'm almost pretty sure it's going to be my last one. The first one was just so helpful, and it was helpful because I wasn't dealing with the emotions or any of that other kind of stuff in the life coaching set. It's just like, look, A, B, C. That's it. And then she basically said back to me, okay, so A, B, C. I'm like, yeah. And she's like, all right, I'll see you, for your next session and let me know about ABC. It put a boundary for myself where I could not any longer go backwards to Z, what is it? ZYX. I had to stop here. So to put that boundary there. And then it's ABC. It's not ZYX. XYZ. Yeah, it's not that. And so at that point, it's like my brain was like, or whatever, I don't know, whatever part of me was like, thank you. Now we can get to the real work. And so I split my paper in half and I wrote down the non-feelings stuff, the absolutes. And then the left side of paper, I wasn't able to touch on any feelings. I mean, before I could just roll out feelings, and it was like, okay, I'm going to write these feelings down, and none would come. And after I filled out the right side of the paper of non-emotions and feelings, on the left side at the bottom, I drew a heart, and I was like, why do I even care? Why does it even matter? And from there, I sat with it for days before I was able to write anything down. And when I wrote the things down on the left side of the paper, it had nothing to do with all the feelings that I thought were going to flood that left side of the paper. It was more like, all right, is that, these are no longer things I want. Well, what do you want on that side? And so I actually just wound up drawing little affirmations in different shapes. And then I drew a flower through all of it. And it was like such a different experience because I thought that, I was going to go all deep dive into all these feelings and emotions that served me not. And so that's where it's like my feelings and emotions are for the realistic things that I know. They're no longer for all of the stuff that I was using them for. And that's no longer what I will accept from myself. And then the absolutes were basically, I know now. And this is my truth. And I'm walking in my truth no matter what. And that's one thing that just irritated the F out of me. I didn't have a name for it at the time. This is just recent revelations for myself. It's just how absolute, my husband says it's not absolute. I call it absolute. He just walks in himself. And I've seen where that's been offensive to people because he just walks in himself. And so, over time, 5 years, and looking at my own self, I'm jealous. I'm jealous that he can just walk absolute in himself and nothing turns him. Nothing. And so for me, it's like, okay, so now that you're over the green-eyed envy and the jealousy and stuff like that, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about Storm? What are you going to do about it? Okay. Well, how does he do that? I have no idea. And just like he says, he doesn't call it absolute. He doesn't see that way. He sees himself a certain way. However, who I am picks up what I know from him. And what I know for him is, for me, I never stood in myself because I was always afraid of the loss that would cause, losing family, losing friends, losing jobs, losing this. Now it's just like, you know what? That has caused me more hurt. That's caused me more hurt. So I have to stop doing it. And what I realized is that I could not stop doing it. And I'm like, how is it not possible for me to stop doing something that I know is hurtful? It makes no sense. That's why I'm saying it's important to peel back those layers, because it's like it makes no sense once you start peeling back your own layers. It will always make sense when you peel back other people's layers. You got the whole thing read out. This person is like this. They said this because of this. They did this because of this. They wanted this because of it. And none of that is true. However, in your mind, you've made it true, and you're living by it, you're breathing by it, you're owning it and going on it. And all I'm saying is, for me, that wasn't enough. It wasn't sustainable, because it's like, well, what good does it do for me to know someone else that way? And I got a few minutes before the store opens, and not know myself. I mean, it just made no sense. And so, turn off the GPS. Okay, GPS. So it just didn't make any sense. So all I'm saying is, if Tina Turner is hitting you in a way today and over these couple of days, then I'm just offering the opportunity to take that energy and look at it in a different way. And then in looking at it in a different way, it may open up the things that have been challenging you, that you just couldn't get over and through and by and whatever, or set to rest permanently. It may help you, because now, looking from a different filter, a different lens, a different frequency, a different whatever you want to call it, now you say, why did I choose that for myself? Why? What was I thinking to choose that? And then run with it. Run with it. For me, I did have to, I climb in the bed. I tell you, when I get my, what I say, deep revelations, insights, man, I hit that bed. I'd be laying in that bed. I'd be hugging up. And I give myself 3 days. 3 days. That's it. And then you got to come out, And I don't do it every time now, But, I mean, these last couple of times, they've been really deep and profound. And, it's whatever you need to do, the meditation, whatever. Turn inward. Turn way inward. I go way, 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 way inward. Because I really want to have my experience here. And whatever drives me and says, this isn't your experience. Don't stop here. This isn't your experience. This isn't your experience. Stay in your own experience. And it is challenging, because with my children, with my grandchildren, with my love, I want to say no more of that. You know what I'm saying? I got some really good clarity, over this last bump of the heads that we had. And I feel like I'm so close to the end of all of that. What is really just nonsense for me. I'm not saying for you, because it's just the way that I see myself continually doing things or different things like that. And it's because of what I see myself as is hashtag PhD in me, hashtag know thyself, all of that. So it's if the only thing that's happening in my life is I'm not living according to my knowing, then I'm causing my own problems. And it's why do I want to cause my own problems? Why is that more important than living in my own knowing? And so for me, it was fear. So then I'm well, why am I afraid? Why am I always afraid? Or do I even know why I'm always afraid? Just proceed forward on your path, Stormy P. Just proceed forward on your path. All right, wholeness, I'm going to go grab my shoes. I'm off. It's the weekend. I'm in beautiful Florida. My love has put me in a beautiful place where I'm close to the beach. My view is of the lake on both sides from all the windows in our house. So, beautiful, wonderful life. Beautiful, wonderful life. I love it. I'm grateful to myself for digging deep through the hurt, pain, everything, so that I can walk out this light that I know. Oh, that's